As the US Congress deliberates on whether or not to send military troops to Nigeria, as congressmen and congresswomen argue over whether or not to fund military action in Nigeria, talking about the US military action, of course, in Nigeria, as Donald Trump and the US congressmen and congresswomen deliberate on whether or not to believe Nigeria's president Bola Ahmed Tinubu's claim that Donald Trump's assertion of the persecution and killing of Christians in Nigeria is being over exaggerated. Let's take a look at this fresh church shooting perpetrated by armed Islamic terrorists on a church in Nigeria in broad daylight. Let's take a look.
Our next story is from Nigeria. It is a country in West Africa. This week, it reported two back-to-back attacks. The first one came on Monday. 25 schoolgirls were abducted. They were taken from their school. The second attack came on Tuesday. A church was targeted. Gunmen opened fire during a prayer service. The pastor and worshippers were kidnapped, and 2 people were left dead. But these attacks are not isolated. They're part of a much bigger security crisis. Nigeria has recorded hundreds of kidnappings and killings this year. The violence has spread across multiple states. Nigeria has responded with heightened security deployments. But the surging violence has put it under growing international scrutiny. Here's a report.
It began as a normal church gathering. People were praying. People were singing. A quiet Tuesday evening service in a small town in Kwara State. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. And then the gunfire began. Loud, sudden, relentless. For a moment, no one moved. A moment of shock and disbelief. Then the panic began. People pushed towards the vestry. They ducked behind benches. They grabbed whoever they could. Everything else was left behind. And through that chaos, the gunmen entered. By the time police reached the town, the damage was clear. 2 people were dead, and several more, including the pastor, kidnapped. The entire attack lasted only minutes. But the shock has traveled far beyond that small church in the Kwara State. Because another tragedy had already shaken